You are listening to the Disney Dream Girls, an unofficial Disney theme parks podcast, and this is show 396 for Sunday the 13th of February 2022.
Where dreams begin.
Hello there, my name is Michelle Young, and together with my jolly good chum Jane Phipps, we are your guides to the place where dreams begin. Hello there, Jane.
Hello there, Michelle. Shall I wish you a very happy Valentine's Day or early Valentine's Day? Or is it a Galentine's Day? I don't know anymore.
Just send me cake.
Oh, okay, I can do that. That's easy enough.
Yay, cake always wins. I'm a very simple girl. Although the other day somebody did hijack my fruit and nut bar from my lap, literally, as I was guarding it with salivatory thoughts, thinking, I am going to have a little chunk of fruit and nut to get me through the afternoon of hard education, and somebody stole it.
Was that intentional, or was it a genuine mix-up?
No, they were playing shenanigans, Jane. Shenanigans in the staff room, my friend, I tell you. It was nearly as bad as a few years ago when somebody hijacked and kidnapped my sweeteners for my coffee, and every day they'd put a ransom note in my staff pigeonhole with a note saying, if you want to see their brothers and sisters, you have to cough up the ransom. Literally, it went on for about 3-4 days, and I fathomed out who'd done it. So
I like that.
I knew he didn't like Bombay Mix. I knew he thought Bombay Mix was the contents of the Hoover that you pull out at the end of hoovering. And I sort of filled up his pigeonhole with Bombay Mix. It took him ages to get rid of the smell of Bombay Mix as well.
Oh, I love things like that. I just think that's the devil in us coming out. That's hilarious.
It's what makes where I work, where I work.
I thought you were going to say bearable then for a minute, Michelle.
Well, you know, it helps to be crazy to work in education, Jane.
Very true, very true.
Anyway, my lovely, we are at that point of the show where I need to hold my mantle over to you and say, Jane, on this day in history.
On this day in history, indeed. Just a couple of little 3 bits for you this week, my darling. Nothing too amazing. Now, we're going to start on the 13th, and I am going to do a Valentine's one as well. Okay. But we're going to go into the 90s, because that was a brilliant era, wasn't it, the 90s? That was when I was at my peak. 1993 saw the opening of Lumiere's Kitchen in Fantasyland at the Magic Kingdom. Now, you know what? 1993 was one of the first, in fact, it was my 3rd visit to Magic Kingdom or Disney World. And I can't remember this place at all. Which is really bad, isn't it? It did become, if it helps my memory at all, in 2006, it then transformed into the Village Fry Shop. And then it changed again in 2009. So that didn't last long, did it? Into the Friar's Nook. I am aware of the Friar's Nook, so I now know what I'm talking about. But I must admit that name, Lumiere's Kitchen, just didn't ring a bell with me at all.
Well, it's nice to think back in 1993 there was a link to Beauty and the Beast in the theme parks.
Yeah, quite astounding, really, when you think about it.
The forerunner of Be Our Guest without the snails.
We won't even go into that, will we?
No.
And staying in the 90s, in 1996, the preview centre for Test Track at Epcot actually opened. Now, bear in mind, this is the preview centre opening that we're talking about. The actual attraction didn't open, and I'm being generous here, because it was a soft opening until December 2 years later.
Wow.
But I quite like the idea of getting I like the old school preview centre, so you could see what was happening and, you know, get excited about up-and-coming things. That's quite cool, really. It kind of just shows you how long these things take, and sometimes you think, is it that good idea telling us something so far in advance?
No.
That we're looking for it? Because we all know what's happening at the moment with certain rides that we won't mention, that we're kind of like going, when?
And you mean in Tron, that is going to be... Basically, Tron Legacy literally could have been written about Tron's legacy, i.e. it's going to be a legacy when it's actually built up and running, because I don't think I'm ever going to live to the day it's open.
It does feel like that. Though they're putting covers on the outside framework, I noticed at the moment.
I
So
don't
so
care
stuff
if
is
you're
being
putting
done.
patio heaters out there, Jin. It's not got an opening date that we
No,
know of, and it's still eons ago to it. And to
I
be
know.
quite frank, if this was Universal, I'd have had 6 holidays on it by now.
Well, this is where I think Universal probably played the game a little bit better because they tend to keep things close to the chest, and then all of a sudden a ride's opening and everybody goes hyper about it.
Yeah,
Maybe
I
that's the way to
love
go.
it. It's like starting Halloween in July. It's just not right. It's hyping it up for ages. And
Yeah,
then you eventually get Halloween and it's an anticlimax.
yeah.
And I'm worried that Tron is going to be like that. And I know at this moment, those people have been fortunate to have ridden Tron will be
Mm,
screaming at the microphone saying, Michelle, Michelle, shut up, you're being stupid. It is worth it all. But that's how I'm beginning to feel because it's been that long. And I think maybe that's part and parcel why our good friend Anthony Markham may have felt that way with regards to the Remy attraction over in Epcot
mm,
because he'd heard us whine about how amazing it was in
yeah,
Paris and it was waiting and waiting and waiting. And then he got on it. It was like, oh, is this it?
yeah. I think this can often be the problem, though, isn't it? When you're reincarnating rides from one place to another, the hype around the original can sometimes set you up for a fall because it's just, and that happens in life with other things as well, doesn't it? Sometimes it's like movies when movies come out and people will bang on about how amazing this movie is, and then you go and see it and you go, oh, because I think you make up an image in your head and then it's never going to live up to that, is it?
Yeah, and that's
Yeah,
why a lot of the times I don't tend to watch some of the video YouTube previews and things because I
yeah,
don't want to edge myself forward to the end of my seat and think, oh, this is going to be the best thing ever. And when I get there, I'm a little bit deflated. And, you know, I do feel a little bit like that at the moment with regards to Christmas and birthdays because I look forward to them and then they're like a bit of a wet balloon, really. Is that the wrong metaphor, a wet balloon? A soggy sandwich, maybe.
yeah. I've just watched Jeff Goldblum on Disney Plus, and he has an episode all about birthdays. Might be one you need to watch, Michelle.
I've watched it. I'm not liking this series. I know we're digressing and we're going
We are.
down a different route. I'm not liking this series with Jeff, and I don't know why. I don't know if it's the topics don't catch me. I don't know whether it's the people he's got on the show that he just didn't hit me as much as season one. I
Not
don't know.
quite as quirky as season one, I would say.
No,
Mm.
birthdays. Yay, whoopee. Anyway, let's go back. Many eons ago, we were wittering about Lumiere's kitchen. Have we any other news?
Yeah, I'm just going to talk about history again but I'm going to do the Valentine's one because this one is one for you, Michelle.
Oh.
Because I'm going to then it sounds wrong because I'm not going to mention 1929 and I've just mentioned your name. Bear with me. Bear with
I
me.
hope you're not suggesting I'm
No,
that old because
no,
I certainly feel
no.
it today at the moment, love.
No, let me carry on. So,
Okay.
1929, the original Hollywood Brown Derby restaurant opened at 1624 Vine Street in California. The Brown Derby restaurants began as a brainchild of Herb Somborn, Wilson Misner, and Sid Grauman. Somborn asked Bob Cobb, now what do we know Bob Cobb for?
Salad.
Salad, exactly, to manage the Vine Street establishment, and eventually Cobb would take over all of the restaurants after the others original owners passed away. And obviously the Hollywood Brown Derby is the inspiration behind the restaurant in Disney's Hollywood Studios. And I know that you like this restaurant, Michelle. That's why I was making the connection to you. That's my Valentine's treat for you. You see a little bit of history about a restaurant I know that you enjoy.
Well, when I say enjoy, lovely, let's just put it up there that I'm not planning on going on there to my next trip because I do find the price point a little bit ouchy ouchy. I'd rather, if I'm going to have fine dining, I don't want to have fine dining in theme park attire because, it's just not right. So for me, it's not a place that I'd like to go to. Been there, done that, was amazing. Yeah, go in, get yourself a starter and a dessert. I just find the price point a little bit ouchy ouchy unless I'm going into Hollywood Studios in the evening, nice and freshened up, and I'm going to have a romantic dinner.
Well,
Then
there you
yeah,
go.
that'd
Yeah.
work.
And I was just thinking you had some lovely experience there because you did the animator thingamajig. Sorry, the Imagineer, didn't you? The dining there. So I thought it was just a nice memory for you.
Yeah.
Mm.
Oh.
There you go, anyway. That's my little bits of history with a bit of digression thrown in the middle.
Absolutely, we love a good old digression.
Definitely.
Okay, well, guess what's coming, Jane?
I don't know, Michelle. Tell me.
Well, it's easier to find a time at Epcot when it has a festival rather than when it hasn't. And I do know at the moment the Festival of the Arts is cracking on, and we've got so many of our listeners at the moment going over and enjoying this festival and having an amazing time. Love to you all. Thank you for sharing your pictures. And I do know we've got a trip report coming up very, very soon with regards to this festival. But I'm looking ahead, Jane, to March the 2nd.
Yes, I'm guessing this is a flower and garden.
Flower and Garden. Absolutely. Running unbelievably all the way through to July the 4th.
Wow, that's a good run, isn't it?
Absolutely. 18 outdoor kitchens.
Okay.
Now, when I imagine an outdoor kitchen, I imagine a little person with an Aga and the worktops. It's not
Yeah.
like that though, is it,
No.
Janie?
No, no. I know, I must admit, I'm thinking, see, working in the early years, I'm thinking of mud kitchens, but that's something entirely different completely, isn't it? Or a
Yes.
barbecue, maybe, outdoor kitchen. That's kind of, some people are very fortunate to have these very fancy, you know, gas-powered barbecues and things, aren't they? Maybe that's what outdoor kitchens should be.
Or like our lovely friends on Diz Down Under that literally do have an outdoor kitchen.
Yeah, yeah.
That green envy. Can you imagine it over here? We'd use it twice a year.
Yeah, that's the only problem in the good old UK, isn't it? The minute we get a bit of sunshine, we're out there with our disposable barbecues because that's the only chance we're going to get.
And then get third-degree burns from our temperatures of 72 degrees because, it's a heat wave.
Yeah. And then run the risk of food poisoning because we haven't cooked everything properly.
Nothing's been cooked right. We're red as the sausages that we're about to eat. Everything is wrong. And, yeah. So, yeah, Garden Rocks concert series will be cracking off at the America Garden Theatre. And there's quite the lineup where you can, for no cost, go and see a live performance at 5:30, 6:45 or 8 p.m. And there is a collection of local bands, and Jane and I love reading through the local bands to see if we've heard of any of them. Jane, I'm going to hand over to you. Which bands have you heard of? Because let's be honest, if it's not Fleetwood Mac or the Carpenters, it's not going to be me, is it? I really don't know my music.
Do you want me to read out the ones that I do recognise?
Go on then.
Because I did go through this list with Simon last night just to have a bit of a giggle. Rick Springfield, know him, March the 6th and 7th. CC Winans, March the 13th and the 14th. There's now a guy called Mike Del Giudice, I don't know, currently on tour with Billy Joel. I have seen Billy Joel live, so does that mean I know him? I don't know. Kool and the Gang. You've heard of Kool and the Gang, Michelle, surely.
Yeah.
There you go. I did like this next one. This made me giggle. The Orchestra, starring former members of ELO, because obviously that's the Electric Light Orchestra.
But all the bulbs are fully plumbed in.
Yeah, something like that. The Spinners, heard of them. The Pointer Sisters, we're now into the beginning of April.
I'm so excited. Is that Pointer Sisters?
Yeah.
And I just can't hide it.
Yeah. And then I'll have to take a little bit of a break. There's somebody who's a former member of the Eagles, but, I'm not any, I've heard of the Eagles bit, not the other guy. Starship, heard of them. That's middle towards the end of April. Berlin. Now, I remember them from the 80s.
Oh, Jane, you take my breath away, darling.
Exactly. Blood, Sweat and Tears. Obviously, we all know Blood, Sweat and Tears from Hollywood Studios days. The Commodores. Know those. A Flock of Seagulls. Now, that is going back to my youth, that.
Wow.
Herman's Hermits. Not quite that old.
No, that's a bit 50. They must be cracking on a bit with age. I'm sorry. How are they appearing?
Yeah, I don't know, because that's one of those names that I associate with way back. But
yeah, my dad liked Herman's Hermits.
Maybe they were very young when they started off.
Embryos, Jane. They were embryos.
Possibly. And then the last one I've heard of is Plain White Tees, and that takes up to the 20th of June. I mean, there are a few dates in there that are still to be announced, so there may be a case of there may be ones that come on that we have heard of, Michelle. And then obviously they're kind of interspersed with local bands, aren't they? And there are quite a few on there that I just haven't heard of before.
Always happens. As you say, a few names that you've mentioned there that do sort of spring to my mind. I wouldn't mind sort of seeing. But yeah, it's. I've done Flower and Garden. I've only been able to go there once because it sort of coincides with our sort of Easter, April sort of holidays. So yeah, it's a place I have done before, and I do love Flower and Garden because it is so beautiful at Epcot. It's a nicer weather. It's not kind of hot, sweaty, and sticky as it gets in the summer. So beautiful time. Have you ever been at that time of year?
I haven't, unfortunately. No, I mean, I went many, many, many years ago, probably towards the middle end of June, but I think that's probably going back too far for it to have been running because I'm talking early 2000. No, actually, I'll correct myself. I'm talking late 90s, so no, it wouldn't have been running then, would it? So no, I'm a bit like you, Michelle. Unfortunately, the only time to get out there would be Easter, and it's difficult, isn't it, working education?
Sadly, is my lovely. Sometimes it makes it quite a challenge.
And expensive.
Well, one thing that you can do, if you don't want to queue to get into any of these concerts, you can pay ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching for a dining package. And I do know for the Festival of the Arts, our lovely friend Anthony Markham is going to review the package of what he got for the Festival of the Arts, and he raved about it. He thought it was really good value.
Oh, okay. Where was he eating?
He ate at our favourite restaurant, Rose and Crown.
You mean the one us Brits tend to avoid?
Well, I don't think it's all Brits. I do know some Brits that actually like it, Jane. I just think it's me and thee that don't like it.
I think it's that element of it. It's a bit like going, it's too close to home, isn't it, sort of thing. I can get that any time. So, yeah, I don't even think of going, which is probably bad of me, really.
Yeah.
Maybe I should put it on my bucket list.
Well, when you think you're paying... Now, this is this festival. This is Flower and Garden price. If you pay this amount, you can go and you can get a non-alcoholic beverage and 3 courses of your choice from the menu at Rose and Crown. So if you're going to go for the most expensive thing, you're going to go probably the cheese platter at $14. Then you're probably going to go fish and chips at $26, although there's a catch of the day for $28. So that's going to take you to $42. And then you get a dessert, $51, stick in a drink, $54. Well, the package price is $58. So £4 to save an hour and a half line, I'm with it.
Yeah, it's not bad going, isn't it?
If I wanted to eat a 3-course meal.
Exactly. Well, this is the thing, isn't it? As we've always said with these things, if you're going to do it, you've got to make sure you get your bang for your buck.
So there's Rose and Crown. Okay. One of the other places that some people, might fancy going and eating at, it's not one for me, is the beer garden.
Yeah, it's not somewhere that I would naturally think of going, I must admit.
And the big difference here is the price point difference is slightly different because you can go to the beer garden and pay out of pocket $46, and this is an adult price, or you can pay for the package and it's $57. So you're probably sort of £7 for the queue.
Yeah, it's putting it a little bit higher, isn't it?
It a little bit, but again, it's eat as you basically want to explode, right? If you like this kind of cuisine, such as the rotisserie chicken, the sauerkraut, the sausages, the schnitzel, the potatoes, all of that stuff, then knock yourself out. I think, if you're going to want to go and eat at that restaurant, that's the price you're going to pay is $46. Well, then add in a drink, it is a comparable price point.
Yeah, I suppose with it being buffet as well, then obviously, it's a chance to load up your plate, isn't it?
Yeah. The third place is the Garden Grill.
Okay.
Now, Chippendale's Harvest Feast is $55 for adults.
Yeah.
And again, it's family style.
Yes.
And I will be honest, I am really contemplating booking a dining reservation for the Garden Grill when I go in August because there's nothing on there not to like.
It is a very traditional sort of, I'm going to say meat and 3 potatoes sort of, 3 potatoes, meat and 3 veg type of food. You know what I mean? It's quite homely. It's quite standard fare, but if it's well prepared, which you'd like, fingers crossed, that it should be, then it should be pretty good.
Yeah. And it's got characters.
True.
So you can get your characters in the unique outfits, and it slowly rotates while you look over Living with the Land.
Yeah, it is a unique dining experience, isn't it?
And it's £55 if you go and eat there anyway,
Yeah.
or it's on the package, it's 66.
Yeah, so just 10 a difference.
And with your $66, you've got a drink as well. So really, it's not that much of a difference. And as you said, the food is basically, there's not going to be much of a problem for anyone. You've got a salad, you've got your turkey, you've got your beef with chimichurri, you've got your mash, you've got veggies, you've got Herbert and leek stuffing, and then you've got a short berry cake with whipped cream. Nothing really is causing a problem there
Especially,
at all.
Yeah, and if you're a group, especially with kids or whatever, then there's, it is family fare at the end of the day, isn't it? It's easy going.
Absolutely. And do you know what that really, really gets me excited about this menu the most? It's because it's family style. If you said to them, look, don't bother with mac and cheese, don't bother with mashed potato, I'm keto, just give me all the turkey, all the beef, all the veggies.
That's
I
very
might
true.
sneak in a bit of the stuffing and sort of compensate that my dessert's going to be a bit naughty with the cake.
Well, you'd be allowed the treat with the cake if you'd been good with the rest of it, wouldn't you, see?
Absolutely.
Like
So
your style.
I really do think that is a good choice.
Yeah, I'm in agreement.
Last one that's on the list, Jane, is the Coral Reef.
Okay.
Now, I've eaten at the Coral Reef. One year I went and I had a dining plan. So I'd worked out the most expensive places to go to absolutely sting it to Disney. And you can actually quite sting it to Disney on this one. You can get a $13 wild mushroom starter. Then you can get a $36 slow roasted prime rib if it's allowed on the dining package, which it might not be, because sometimes they take things off. And then the dessert screams at me, the chocolate wave, which has got raspberry gelato, and that's $10, so that's $59. Add your beverage. Again, if you are going to want to eat there and you're prepared to have 3 courses, I think it works out. For me, that's overpriced food, and I wouldn't do that on that one. I would definitely do the garden grill every single time. But if you wanted to have that experience of being sat in an aquarium, basically looking at the amazing fish swimming pie as you're eating a meal,
definitely. And as you say, there's in all of these, there's not an awful lot of difference. Say, make sure at the Coral Reef and Rose and Crown, where you're picking your options, you go for hopefully the most expensive to get more bang for your buck. But actually, the price difference is not that great, is it?
No, I don't think it is lovely at all. So that's an interesting one. If you're planning a trip to Flower and Garden, why not consider doing a little bit of research for us while you're there and coming on the show and talking about it and sharing it with everyone. We would love to hear from you.
Definitely.
We would really, really love to hear from you. I'm afraid it's a bit of a food-heavy show this week, Jane.
So not like us, Michelle.
I know, it's let's just bear in mind that this plan of ours to go to Walt Disney World or to Disneyland or wherever, it's basically a lot of different snacks, alcoholic beverages and meals with a few attractions spaced in between and a lot of shopping. Let's be honest, if you are with us, put your hand up now and say whoop whoop.
Whoop whoop.
Yeah, we know it. But I'm going to leave Walt Disney World, Jane.
No.
I am. I'm saying adios.
Adieu.
Adieu. A bientôt. And that might give you a flavour of where I'm going to next.
Going to Paris?
Oui, oui. I am going to Gay Paris.
And what are we going to do in Paris?
2 eateries are reopening, Jane, and I'm so giddy.
Oh, okay.
Tweeted out today as we were recording, so details are a little scant. But Toad Hall Restaurant, known for its what?
Fish and chips.
Fish and chips, which is a British classic.
It is, yeah.
Is going to be reopening along with Walt's, an American restaurant.
Oh.
So let's just think a little bit about Toad Hall, because I know you've eaten there, because we've eaten there together.
We had salad outside, didn't we? If my memory serves me right.
We had salad outside. It was really nice.
It
And the
was.
good thing about Toad Hall is there is something for everyone. And
Mm.
they sell the most amazing chips. Let's be honest.
Yeah, no, they're doing well.
And if you're ever hungry in a theme park and you haven't a lot of money and you're going on a budget, you can just go and spend under €4 and get a portion of these, what Americans would call steak fries. Oh my
Yes.
word. And then get several hundred packets of mayonnaise and cover them in mayonnaise.
Oh,
Oh, and if you look at it and you say to the cast member, do you mind waiting and just doing me? I'll wait, give me them when they're fresh off the fryer. Oh,
nice. Yeah.
absolutely
Proper chips.
stunning. Yeah. And because Disneyland Paris have got this obsession at the counter service, you have to buy from menu 1, 2, 3, or
Yeah.
4. You don't have to. You just have to look at the menu and you can choose what you actually want. And for us, we might not want a mini magnum or a Greek yogurt for dessert or a fizzy soda.
Yeah.
So just bear that in mind when you look at the menus.
Yeah, I think they can be quite confusing actually, the Paris menus. They tend to do, like you say, they have these different options and you kind of feel compelled to go and choose the option rather than, oh no, actually I can have them all individually. Yeah.
Last time it was open, it offered 4 classic offerings: fish and chips, a sort of beef braised dish in pastry,
Okay.
a chicken sandwich, which was like a hot chicken sandwich. Then it offered double fish and chips. So if fish and chips once wasn't enough, you could get 2 fish. Which
course.
I like the French way of thinking on that one. So instead of getting 1 fish, you get 2 fish.
That sounds like we're going to Universal.
Instead of getting a blue fish, you get a... Yeah, it's just like, wow.
We're crossing the streams, Michelle.
No, don't cross the streams, Jane. But yeah, so it's really exciting that you're going to be able to go and get that. And there's talk of something called toefish going to be available.
No, right, okay. I'm not saying anything.
So this is for your personage who have obviously chosen to go down a plant-based diet. And all I'm going to say, Jane, is whoop whoop for Paris, who basically, as we all know, is a country of carnivores. They do like eating the meat in France.
Yeah.
So to be able to start putting in plant-based options is a really good thing for those people who want to consider that.
Yes.
So, yeah. What about Waltz?
You've eaten at Waltz, haven't you?
I've eaten at Waltz more than one occasion.
Lucky you.
I am very fortunate. And to be honest, if you're going to eat anywhere in Disneyland Paris, I think this is a standout place for you to go and eat.
Okay.
6 magical worlds in one restaurant. That's how it sells it on the website.
Okay, right.
So technically speaking, if you want to go and visit each world, you've got to go 6 times. I like that. That's Disney creativity at its best to try and get you in there 6 times.
So you've got 4 more to go then, Michelle?
Nah, I just walked around them all and had a look and took the pictures, so it's fine. You know, Disney, I'm a bit savvy with that. But yeah, the menu at Waltz, again, we don't know what it's going to be offering this time round, so all I can talk about is what it was last time.
Yeah.
But it is a pricey affair.
Mm-hmm.
Shall I talk a little bit about it, Janie?
Oh, go on then, because if my memory serves me right, haven't they got different types of menus? I'm not thinking of something
Right.
different.
You basically need a postgraduate degree to understand the menus. It is so confusing. I'm not kidding. It is like, oh my God, there are just so many options. You can basically put your own meal together.
Okay.
So, you know, if you just want to go in and not spend a fortune and you just want to get a main meal, that's great. You can do that. Fantastic. Right. There's a fishy menu. Mm-hmm. There's a meaty menu. Mm-hmm. And then there's a desserty menu. Mm. And then it starts with your set menus.
Right.
And this is where it starts getting interested because certain menus include drinks, certain menus don't include drinks.
Yeah, I seem to remember all this.
Yeah, so if the price point stayed the same to what's on the website, a starter and a main on the basic Walt menu is going to cost €41, which is $46, which is £34. Mm-hmm. And it looks okay. If you want to have the dessert, it's an extra €10. So it roughly works out at an extra $12 or roughly about £9. And the menu looks really good. There's a couple of starters, 3 mains, 2 desserts. Pretty good. I love how they word it. There's a parade of seasonal fresh fruits and sorbets.
A parade.
So I'm envisaging little sort of vehicles with, fresh fruits in, like, sort of a Paris version of the sort of Main Street Electrical Parade, but with fruit and sorbet.
I've got a little, the little mine carts from Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. I've got a picture. I could just see them rolling along in front of you on the table, little miniature things. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Thinking about this way too much.
Absolutely. And that's the way to do it with Disney, of course. There is a more expensive option, and this is the signature, and that's €69, which is $80 or £59. And the ingredients get a little bit, a bit more zhuzhy.
Oh, okay.
So we're talking about, a crab crumble with herbs and pea puree.
Right.
Grilled beef tenderloin with Thelma potato. I'm just wondering where Louise is. I'm sorry. If you're getting a Thelma potato, where's Louise?
I don't even know what a Thelma potato is, Michelle.
I have no idea.
Anyway, okay.
Veggies and a red wine sauce. The desserts, oh my word, this sounds so posh. Candied pineapple and tonka bean financier with a seasonal sorbet.
So you've just said words and put them into a sentence, so I don't know what you're talking about.
There is another menu as well, a premium one. It just starts getting silly, and then you've got wine pairings and all sorts of stuff. Then you can do aperitifs, and it's just so complicated, but the food there is really good. But can I just say, if you're going to go and eat there, don't think you'll be in and out in an hour.
No, it's not quite like maybe the fine dining that we're used to in the States, is it?
It is probably a 2 to 3 hour experience. So unless you sort of say to your server, right, we're on a mission, we've got an hour, keep hitting us with the food. When our plates are empty, we expect 5 minutes and then the next course in front of us. And they'll do it. You just have to be, a little bit
cheeky,
un-British.
Yes, yeah. I suppose at the end of the day, you are in France, and therefore their appreciation and approach to food is potentially different to what we Brits and potentially our American friends are used to.
Yeah, you could sort of say their tagline is "Savour, not shovel."
Yeah.
I think that's what I'm going to call the show. Savour, not shovel.
Savour, not shovel. Quite like that, Michelle.
Yeah, I'm going to sell it to Disney. Savour, not shovel. Yeah, that's another one I'm sending to Bob Chapek in his weekly suggestions from the Disney Dream Girls on how to make Disney great again.
Yeah. If any of these ever get taken up, Michelle, we'll be raking it in, love.
Well, they keep getting taken up. Look what they did with my Snow White restaurant.
True.
I just don't get the ka-ching for it. Anyway.
No. Anyway.
That is just a little bit of light-hearted banter on what's going on in the world of Walt Disney World, Disneyland, Paris. And we didn't really go on to Disneyland in California this week, did we, Jane?
No, but I'm sure we'll have plenty of other shows to do that, Michelle.
Well, how about we hop on over to our Patreon channel and do a special show for them about Disneyland. And if you want to subscribe, it's patreon.com/Disney Dream Girls. You get the show a little bit earlier than anywhere else and additional audio content. And the satisfaction that you're helping us keep that show racing towards show 400. 3 to go, Jane, after this one. Wow, who would have thought it?
I know, quite.
I wish I'd have put a bet on it now. Anyway, find us on Instagram and Twitter at DisDreamGirls. We've got a Disney Dream Girl podcast family page. Join the family, share your Disney. We love a little bit of a chat about it. And basically, we love a bit of Disney banter. So, we'd love to hear from you. Until next time, it's a goodbye from me.
And goodbye from me.